Okay, we're going to start to talk about some formulas that are used in graphing or discussing geometric graphs, geometric shapes, and really we're trying to get to circles. So we're going to start off just by looking at something called a midpoint formula. And the midpoint formula is literally just trying to find the middle of a line segment. So say you have a line segment, this would be a line segment, it's part of a line. It has endpoints, so we have 1, 5, and 7, 7. The midpoint would be literally the middle of that line segment, so that would be your midpoint. Since the middle is the average, then we can just go ahead and average my x's and average my y's to find that middle point, to find that midpoint. So if I'm going to average, that means I add things together and divide by the amount of things, kind of like you average your grades. So if I average my x's, I have two x's, I have a 1 and a 7, so I'm going to add them, and I have two of them, so I'm going to divide by 2. I also have two y's. I have a 5 and a 7, and again two of them, so I'm going to divide by 2. I wrote them like this because this is midpoint, so it should be a point. So if I actually simplify, 1 plus 7 is 8 over 2, or 4. 5 plus 7 is 12 over 2, or 6. So my midpoint should be 4, 6. I can probably write this in a more standardized form. If I'm just averaging my x's and it's a line segment, then that means I'm taking my 1x and I'm adding it to my other x, so I'll call that x1 and x2, and then dividing by 2. I'm averaging them. My y's are the same thing. I'm taking my first y, adding it to my second y, and dividing by 2. So the midpoint formula is just averaging your x's and averaging your y's.